Hello. Welcome back to Module 3, Scholarship as Conversation. Today, we'll begin with some basics on the scholarly dialogue. Scholarship is similar to a dialogue in which ideas are formed, debated, and pondered beside one another over time. In a 1952 series on the great books of the Western world, educational theorist Robert Hutchins commented, "What binds the authors together in an intellectual community is the great conversation in which they are engaged." In the works that come later in the sequence of years, we find the authors listening to what their predecessors have had to say about this idea or that, this topic or that. They not only hearken to the thought of their predecessors, they also respond to it by commenting on it in a variety of ways. Scholarly dialogue means that information creators and consumers gather, figuratively and literally, to discuss meaning, with the effective researcher adding his or her views to the discussion. Researchers talk to each other even across great expanses of time. Humankind has wrestled with certain topics and concepts for millennia, and information creators and consumers often form new ideas in the hope of answering old questions. There may be many answers to a single question. When one adds a new idea to the conversation, they are obliged to acknowledge the understanding they have gained from those who have come before. Sir Isaac Newton understood this when he commented to a friend in 1675, "If I have seen further than others, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." Scholarly conversation is the existing research surrounding a topic. The Association of College and Research Libraries defined scholarly communication as the system through which research and other scholarly writings are created, evaluated for quality, disseminated to the scholarly community, and preserved for future use. The system includes both formal means of communication, such as publication in peer-reviewed journals, and informal channels, such as electronic mailing lists. Sometimes the existing research may present opinions that defend or refute the current conversation. The research may show how a conversation has changed over time as new ideas and viewpoints emerge, and many conversations continue well into the future. Acknowledging the processes of scholarly knowledge allows one to make good choices throughout the research process. This helps the researcher to add his or her own informed voice to the conversation, via paper, presentation, opinion, or creative production, and build credibility as a researcher. A single source represents the views of a particular author, but that source is not the only opinion or viewpoint on a matter. An effective researcher seeks out multiple sources to develop a complete understanding of the conversation on a given topic. This method is called lateral reading, and will be discussed shortly. You should work to develop a scholarly mindset. You are entering into the middle of a scholarly conversation when starting your research. The first article found is not the beginning of the conversation, nor is it the end. Do you understand your place in the larger world of information? You should learn how your assignments may contribute to the body of work in a given academic field. Research the citations in a chosen source to understand the works that have influenced that publication. Researching backwards allows one to more fully appreciate the context of the ideas presented in a source. Additionally, your credibility as a researcher and respect for your interpretations will both increase. Research whether the chosen source has been cited in a subsequent work. Researching forward will allow one to comprehend the significance or impact of the source in question. Next time, we'll talk about reading strategies and the method known as lateral reading. Until then, thank you for your time. If you want to learn more about the subjects we have discussed, here are the sources used for this section.